The answer lies in the heart of battle. I mean, hi! What?
Sounds pretty lame.
It's not lame, Die! It's Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple, or Strongest Disciple. Why did they change the name?
Yeah.
We're gonna make a joke about Funimation being stupid, but that would require me to acknowledge they exist, which they don't anymore! They're dead! Lol! Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I still think it's hilarious that that's the company that went under, not Crunchy. Anyway... But Die, it's time! We're back with Mignogna March for the 3rd time! And yes, as we said, this is Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple. Or something you could easily tell is inspired by Street Fighter. If not, I don't know how you couldn't tell that. I mean, it's Die, it's a spoiler, right?
Yes, spoilers for a show this old.
Yeah. Oh god, the mangaka's name is so weird. Okay, so let's get into the Street Fighter anime. Totally not Street Fighter. Anyway. Kenichi is a manga series written by Sion Matsuena. That is a weird name, my friend. That first started in 1999 and ran until 2002 under the name Todosai Ryozanpaku thing I'm not going to continue to try pronouncing. Before switching gears into Shonen Sunday's weekly thing and running from 02 to 2014. Yeah, he basically just relaunched the entirety of his own manga as a remake for his second run. Makes me wonder, was the first one bad? I don't know.
Yes.
But yeah, it was called History's Strongest Disciple, but for some reason when Funimation licensed it, they changed it to The Mightiest Disciple. Even though there's numerous amounts of dialogue of them referring to Kenichi as History's Strongest Disciple. Go figure. Anyway, the anime would air in 2006 with 50 eps by TMS. Too much sexiness. TMS, you people would probably know as the people behind Case Closed, or Fruits Basket 2019. Or Megalobox, speaking of shows we're going to be covering soon. Or Die, they did your favorite show, Card Fight Vanguard! What?
Yeah.
Anyway, Funimation would get the rights to the show releasing it in 2008, but because it's Funimation, they would let the rights expire in 2018. Now it's in the hands of Discotech, who put it on Blu-ray, and I have no idea if the remastering they did was any good. I only own it on DVD. Someone will have to tell me. Please do. I want to know if it's worth upgrading or not. So, I guess time to get into this Die. Kenichi follows our main character, Kenichi, lol, who is a teenager constantly being bullied left and right, even getting the nickname Weak Knees Kenichi. Till he stumbles upon another teenage girl, Miyu, totally not inspired by Cammy, by the way. Definitely not. What are you talking about?
That'd be silly.
And he sees her fend off a bunch of dudes accosting an old man with her martial arts skills, thus slowly inspiring him to finally stand up for himself so he could stand up to the bullies at school. And learn martial arts of his own by going to her dojo, where he meets the craziest bunch of misfit masters you could ever think of. Naturally, because it's a shonen, you all know where this is going. His bullies end up being part of a gang that ends up leading from one member to the next as they progressively get stronger, and so on and so forth.
Except when they don't.
You're talking about the job squad of the gang, aren't you?
Everyone has one.
We'll get to them. But yeah. In short, looking up the reception of the anime, I saw people say this is an underrated shonen, and I could kind of see that. It does have flaws, which we will get to in the spoiler section. But I still think you could have a lot of fun with this one, and it's worth watching. It's on Amazon Prime, and probably Hulu. I don't know, we watched it on Prime.
Ooh. Who the fuck uses Hulu?
You're right. Fuck you, Hulu. So, Dai, how was the animation? Because I know TMS are usually not lazy. Said usually.
Yeah.
What, was the animation any good?
About what you'd expect from the time it came out.
What, 06, 07?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were doing long-running shonens a lot around that time. Yeah, and we already mentioned Case Closed. They did The Gray Man.
What
Seems to be the
Akuma anyways.
Exactly. Well, as far as the OST goes, I think it works. It's your typical rock and has your softer songs too for the more somber moments. Power Up is probably my favorite song. It sounds like something straight out of Street Fighter. I mean, it's not like I'm a Street Fighter fan. Totally not. Nope. But I guess it's time to get into the dub. Oh boy, the dub. Why are there 6 ADR directors?
Because it occasionally changes from episode to episode. It's not dumb.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly run through these. First, we have someone who could probably register themselves as a literal blimp, I mean Monica Royale as an ADR director, who casted herself, you bitch. But it is as someone who probably people wouldn't find very sexually appealing. I don't know, Di, do you want to tap that in this show? I didn't think so.
Tap what?
But, you know, Monica's character.
Oh, I don't know, are you into attempted child murderers? If you are, then have you found yourself a wife?
Yeah, her being psychotic aside. Oh. Anyway, moving on from Monica, we have Joel McDonald.
She's a nothing character.
Yeah, she's a yes man. We have Joel McDonald, Colleen Clinkenbeard, Charlie Campbell, Leslie Patrick, and John Duckworth. Nomi, we found your cousin! I've never heard of these last two, I'm gonna be honest. But either way, yeah. 6 ADR directors. As far as the script, didn't you say Joel worked on some of the scripts too?
The script changes too.
Yeah. The script for the most part's fine. There's a couple of silly dubisms we'll get to, but now it's time for the main cast. But first we have Kenichi, typical shonen pro-tag who has principles, etc., and wants to fight for justice and to protect everybody.
What do you want?
Justice! And he's voiced by Josh Greeley, and his first major main role from what I looked up, and yeah, you can kind of tell. It takes him a few episodes to really get into the role, I think.
And then he proceeds to make the noises he would for the rest of his career.
Yeah, when he's training and his mentors are abusing him with accentuating training circumstances, he makes what we call the Josh noises, the high-pitched squeals.
If you've seen him in any show, you know exactly what we're talking about. Or I guess heard him would be more.
Yeah, like Shido in Date Alive, or Armin in Attack on Titan, or Sadao Mao in Devil as a Part-Timer. I'm so happy that show's coming back. I have no idea.
You're gonna come back to disappoint?
What? That was Part-Time is great. Anyway, I think Josh does good as Kenichi. That's the one thing you're going to hear us say, though, is that despite the fact that this dub does, it's dated in some places, particularly with the ad voices and one-off characters, you can tell something comparatively to a lot of other dubs coming out now. Everyone's having fun. And that's the thing the show's going for. It's just meant to, you know, be a fun anime to get lost in or whatever. Anyway, moving on from Josh, we have Miyu, aka Best Girl, right, Di?
Sure, if that's what you call it.
Anyway, Oh, come on, who doesn't love anime titties on a blonde, man? She's the typical naive, innocent waifu type who's really ditzy and kind of an idiot, but incredibly good at martial arts. She's voiced by Carrie Savage, who I'm not sure we ever covered here, actually. Anyway, she's Remy from Chaos Head, as well as in the upcoming Phantom Breaker Omnia game, which I think is the first thing she's been in a while. Also, Celica on Blaze Blue, Lizana and Fairy Tail, another best girl, right, Dai?
Who the fuck ever said that?
Yes.
Must be really special.
You could tell Carrie Savage had a lot of fun with this role, though. Especially in the moments where Miyu genuinely gets pissed off. Even if she doesn't understand why she's pissed off when someone insults her, she doesn't get the insult and gets confused. Because it's Miyu, and that's what she does. But yeah. I suppose after her, though, it's time to move on to the Grandmasters of Ryozanpaku, the dojo that Kenichi goes to. First, we have Hayato, the Grandmaster, the elder of all of them, who you find out's the Master of Ki. Again, more on that later. Anyway, he's voiced by R. Bruce Elliott. It's basically just Makara from Fairy Tail. That's literally this character.
He's literally his typecasting. Again.
The mentor figure that goes on about how friends are just as important as family, bonds that you need to protect.
A main character's grandfather.
Yeah, his Miyu's grandfather. Like, yeah, it's literally just Makarov. Not really much else to say on that. You know what to expect if you've seen any Fairy Tail. Anyway, after him we have Appa-chai, the Muay Thai master, which, now Dai, I'm going to ask so I don't get this one mixed up like I did with Double Decker. Appa-chai, is he Russian?
No.
Oh, because the OVA centered around him is called the Russian Soldier or some shit.
I don't... If he is, they didn't specify.
Well, because they said he was from another country, and he does have an accent. So, yeah, as we said, Appa-chai, I guess we'll get to that in a minute, but Appa-chai, he has an accent, and he's the strong, stupid one of the group who means well. He doesn't know how to count past 10, but his punches could probably kill anyone. Because he had to learn to protect himself and his country, is what little you do get on him in the anime. And he's voiced by Sonny Strait, who you'll probably know as Usopp from One Piece or Krillin from DBZ. I swear if anyone puts it's actually Kudorin, I hate you. Don't you dare. Don't do it. Please. Anyway. Appa, appa, appa is what he does constantly. In his weird, silly-ass voice. But come on, it's Appa-chai. How can you not have fun with him? He knows how to talk to pigeons. Yeah, we probably should have mentioned this show's over the top as fuck, too.
Except when it isn't. Wait, what?
Well, anyway. After Appa-chai, we have Shigure, the weapons master. She specializes in swords, knives, shuriken, any weapon, basically.
All the things.
Yep. And she was a ninja. She's voiced by Trina Nishimura, someone who, Funny doesn't seem to like to use for some reason. Why not, guys? Anyway, you don't probably know her as Mikasa, aka Best Girl from Attack on Titan, or Kurisu, Worst Girl from Steins Gate, right, Dai?
See, he's just a weirdo.
And she's also coming back for Phantom Breaker Omnia. Anyway, Shigure is the quiet type. And this is one of those roles where you could tell that if it was a lesser voice actor, they would get confused in making them sound emotionless with making them just sound quiet. Which, yes, there is a difference.
Are you gonna talk about Ava? Because it sounds like you're gonna do that.
I am so tempted to, but I'm not going to. It's okay. Ava's... yeah. But Trita does a great job here. After her, we have Akisame, the judo master, who's also a philosopher who likes doing calligraphy. And he's kind of a dick. Dick in the fun way, though. And he's voiced by Kent Williams, who you'd all probably know as Dr. Giro from DBZ, or Mal from Darker Than Black. There's a show we gotta cover at some point, die. You keep telling me Season 2 is worse than I remember. I want to see if it is.
It is.
I barely remember it. It's gonna be fun. That's a job for another day.
The fact that you said you remembered Season 1...
Oh yeah, I remember Season 1 perfectly. I remember it's... yeah, just side note, guys. Darker Than Black Season 1's fucking great. Highly recommend it. It's really good. Season 2, though, I vaguely remember. It's one of those things where it's like...
There's a reason why.
Well... find out eventually. But anyways, Kent Williams, really good job as Akisame. Akisame is probably one of my favorite mentors out of all of them. Like, they do a good job making all the mentors distinct and likable.
What? Pretty impressive what they did at being how they're each a master of a different martial arts.
Yeah. Well, next on the Masters, we have Sakaki, the karate expert, who's a drunk who also gets really angry and talks about ki. And voiced by Chris Sabat. Yeah, sort of a dick, blah, blah, blah. But either way, no, Chris Sabat, there's a reason we don't shit on his performance around here. Because he's genuinely a good VA, even though he's a dick.
Also a soon.
Yeah, and he's a soon for Kenichi. I wasn't worried about him. If you wanted to see where Chris Sabat's, I guess, predecessor for his role as Yami from Black Clover came from, look no farther than here. It's literally the same character. In fact, I could kind of see why. Maybe that's why they casted him as Yami in Black Clover for that reason. As a pseudo-nod or something. But yeah, I don't have any complaints about it.
Just theorizing.
I don't have any complaints about his performance here.
He also has some kind of weird accent.
Yeah, where he kind of slips into every now and again. I don't know how to place it. I know what you're talking about.
It's like the closest is almost a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, I was gonna say either Brooklyn or pseudo-ghetto accent. It's really hard to describe. Those who've seen the show know what we're talking about. Because you gotta give it all you got, you know what I mean? Like, he says it like that kind of occasionally. It's really weird. He slips into it every now and again. Could be because of multiple ADR directors or something, I don't know. But hey, now it's time for the main man himself, Kensei, who's totally not just Master Roshi if he knew Kenpo and Chinese martial arts. Kensei? Well, Kensei is voiced by the sexiness himself, Mignogna. And, yeah. Kensei's a massive perv. He's like, hey, me, let me demonstrate this move on you so Kenichi can get a visual understanding of how it works. Okay, I have you in this leg hold. Now let me grope you. I mean, he constantly gets hit for it, so... He gets also hit by Shigure all the time, too. No, Kensei's fucking great, though. Anyway... Now for the other major characters. So next, we have someone who should also be considered a potential MVP of the dub. We have Nijima, Kenichi's pseudo-friend?
Friend, air quotes.
Yeah, Nijima's fucking insane. Everyone even calls him an alien. Like, he's head of the newspaper club at their school, so he's constantly spreading rumors, and he's like, I'm doing it to inspire you, Kenichi. Yeah, you defended yourself against this dude. I told everyone in the school so other fighters would want to come challenge you. Why would you do that? Because it'll help motivate you to get stronger, buddy. I have your best interest at heart.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Nijima is voiced by Todd Abercorn, someone else who's really sexy. Anyway, you all know him. Natsu from Fairy Tail, or, as we mentioned before, this is another predecessor role. You want to see where his Beto Gyos from ReZero came from? Came from here. Yeah, if you want more of that, just come here. He even, like, monologues to himself. Yes, 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 rain hell down onto Kenichi. Gods, I beg of you, make his life a living torment of pain.
Yeah, that checks out.
Todd did a fantastic fucking job as Nijima. There's even a moment where he manipulates Kenichi by, like, basically sending him a love letter for a blind date, and Kenichi falls for it. He's like, what? Where's the girl? And then he shows up dressed like a girl, and he goes, oh, you talking about little old me? And he puts on a southern accent and talks like a woman. It's fucking hilarious. Nijima's a legend, man. Anyway.
Apparently he's an alien.
He is. Next, we have the members of Ragnarok. That's the main gang of antags or whatever throughout the whole series. Well, first, we have Takeda. Takeda is no more. I am Scorpion. Takeda's a boxer. And he's voiced by J. Michael Tatum. You all know him. Sebastian from Black Butler. Kyoya from Ouran High School Host Club. And, I mean, come on, it's fucking boxer. Boxers are cool, right? Are you not a mark for boxers, Dai?
Should I be?
Yes! Yes, you should. You'd understand, man. Boxers are fucking cool. No, I actually really like Takeda. I think he has a really good character arc from his development. Because, yeah, I guess small spoilers here. He starts off as an antag, but slowly develops into a friend.
Deadly friend.
And you can see it too. He's one of the members of Ragnarok where you could tell he's like, early on, he doesn't agree with some of the shit they're doing. And also, it's a fucking boxer. I'm sorry, I'm a mark for that sort of shit. Blame the Rocky films. And yeah, Michael Tatum, you could tell this is one of his earlier roles, but I still think it works for what it is. After him, we have Takeda's friend, Uketa the Thrower. My name's Uketa. Who's... yeah, he's kind of a jobber. He at least gets to take down grunts here and there, but as far as major fights, don't expect much from him. He's the plot device to show how powerful antags are. That's his whole character.
And to be Takeda's best friend.
Yep. And he's voiced by Mike McFarlane, who you don't know as Master Roshi, speaking of Roshi, or Baby from GT.
Baby.
Baby! And yeah, again, Uketa gets a little bit, but not as much as Takeda, so... he's alright, not much to go off of with him. But now it's time for the top members of Ragnarok, what they call the 8 Deadly Fists. And the cast list just has these in all sorts of fucked up order, so...
yeah, what kind of asshole did it that way?
Anyway, first we have Kasara, who pretty sure is based on Chun-Li, being as how she fights primarily with kicks. And yeah, she does seem a bit tomboyish too, though I don't know what would give me that impression. She's also obsessed with cats, and who doesn't love cats? Die.
What the fuck is that supposed to be?
Anyway, she's voiced by Colleen Clinkenbeard because the ADR directors are dicks. In fact, her Yes Man is voiced by Joel McDonald. I see it now. It's a conspiracy from the directors. I'm on to you.
Literally one of the literally a character that's barely there.
Anyway, She voices Luffy in One Piece, Urza in Fairy Tail, Elsie in Eden Zero, damn it, Mashima, why? I mean, she didn't voice that role, that's not even a role right there, but you all know what I mean. And, yeah, you could tell she has fun voicing Kasara, especially when she constantly has to go into Kasara, going completely over-the-top moe reaction towards kittens. Oh. I mean, Kasara has one of the other better character arcs as well. After her, we have Thor, who's, well, totally not based on E Honda. He's not a sumo wrestler or anything. Okay, he's a sumo wrestler who's probably based on E Honda. Voice, Street Fighter, or Shao Kahn in, what is it, MK9 and X? Or is it just MK9? Just MK9, right?
Wait, he was in X?
I don't think he was. That's why I was asking you.
That's just MK9.
Yeah, that's what I thought. In fact, you know what? Going through this, we're gonna have some fun and see how many people we could find in this that actually eventually ended up being in Street Fighter. So we had Todd before. He's one of the twins in SF4. Surprisingly, I think that's it. I don't think any of the Masters were ever in Street Fighter, were they?
No.
Well, we'll see if we can keep this up going forward.
One of the odd voices ended up in Street Fighter, speaking of Cammy.
Oh yeah, yeah, Caitlin Glass a few odd voices here and there. She voiced a bunch of them. We'll get that to the recycled voices section. But yeah, Bob Carter, when you want him to voice someone intimidating, that seems to be what he's best at. And since Thor is big hulking sumo dude, it works. He's one of the members, though, that doesn't get as much screen time. Next, though, we have, who Dai was hinting at earlier, the jobber member of the Eight Deadly Fists, Loki, who's supposed to be the intelligence, nerdy member of the group.
He's not either of those.
Yeah. So, Loki is voiced by Travis Willingham, doing a really weird fucking voice.
Pretty much his Zetsu voice.
Yeah. You all know Travis. He's Rock Bison, and he's also Thor in Anthem Ventures. Okay, fine, he's Mustang and FMA. There you go, there's a good role by him. I mean, Rock Bison's not a bad role. Rock Bison's good too, he's just a jobber.
No, he's Cell in Battle of Z.
Dude, that is so fucking weird to hear him. No, seriously, guys, if you got a moment, just type in Battle of Z Cell cutscene. It is so fucking weird to hear him as It makes no sense.
And it's literally the only time.
But yeah. Loki doesn't like fighting, so he'll use duplicates of himself, basically to distract people from him. And actually, I don't even know what Loki's fighting style is.
He literally does not fight enough to establish one.
Yeah, so he uses clones of himself, like we said, as decoys, and one of them's a big fat man, and you get to hear Travis do Fat Man voice, because Travis voices all the clones as well. So, it's kind of fun. You can tell Travis was having fun with that, trying to come up with as many different voices as possible for them.
He also uses weapons and stuff, like tasers and shit.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, and as we said, his yes man, yes woman, whatever the fuck, is Monica Royale, and their plan to get to Kenichi is kidnap his younger sister, and they even attempt killing her.
They just hold a knife to her. They didn't attempt to kill her. She actually cut herself trying to get out.
Hey man, it's Loki. I want to put it past him. You heard him say kill them numerous times when it came to other characters. Loki's kind of a cunt.
Yeah, but comparatively, he's not one of the bigger cunts because he doesn't attempt to murder a kitten.
Well, I'll get to that in a second too. But yeah. After Loki, we have the next member of the Eight Deadly Fists, Freya. She's the weapons expert of the group. So, yeah, she uses a staff. And she's voiced by Stephanie Young, who you don't know as Nico Robin from One Piece, or Olivier Armstrong from FMA Brotherhood.
Or Toa from Xenoverse.
That works too. And we're gonna get to her more in the spoiler section with some of the shit that does not really make sense. And I don't know, maybe the manga explained it better. That wouldn't surprise me much, but we'll see. But as far as this goes, Stephanie Young does a good job as Freya, basically trying to play the mentor role to most of the other fighters in Ragnarok.
Not that she's there that much.
Yeah. After her, though, we have one I really like. We have Berserker. What, I'm a mark for the calm, cool ones that can kick anyone's ass when they fight. Anyway, Berserker doesn't have any fighting style. He just fights on raw talent and has won every fight he's been in. They call him the Invincible Street Fighter, as if the references to Street Fighter weren't any more on the nose.
Could it be, what if I also told you he has blonde hair?
Yeah, and he gets bored very easily, and they call him a delinquent, and he just wants to fight for excitement. I think he was honestly inspired by Cody from Final Fight. This one I'm not sure on, but that's my theory on this one. Because a lot of his shit is similar to Cody.
The mayor.
Yes! But yeah, Berserker is voiced by Robert McCollum, who we actually just covered not too long ago. You all know him, Reiner from AOT. He's Baki from Baki the Grappler. We've referenced that show enough. We've got to watch it at some point.
Welcome to his typecasting.
Yep, Berserker is typical Robert McCollum antag. But again, I think he's cool for what screen time he is here, and he has some of the coolest fights that I like. After him, we have Odin, the leader of Ragnarok. You might be wondering, wait, this is only the 6th one. We're saving 2 for last for reasons. One dumb and one amazing. So Odin, he uses Ki. That's his fighting style. Basically Ultra Instinct. Which, not gonna lie, the first time I saw the show over a decade ago, I was kind of like, what the fuck, that's bullshit! But now it's like, oh, they're just doing the whole typical martial arts, your body moving on instinct and blocking any attack that gets near you shit. Just amped up to 11.
Too bad his character...
Yeah, again, spoilers. His character plot is really dumb. The other backstories I'm all for. They make sense. Again, I already mentioned Kasara and Takeda's plot lines I actually really like. What?
And you distract them for like 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
That's fine. Anyway. Well, here's one that Odin is voiced by Jerry Joel, who you'd all probably know as Lau from Black Butler, or Licht from Black Clover. And it's your typical Jerry Joel role. He is really, really good at playing the calm character. Because, you know, Odin comes across like really calm, like it's hard to piss this dude off. Just kind of like Berserker, but not really, because the reason Berserker is named that is because when you push him enough, he gets super pissed and goes overly angry and goes into Berserker mode. Odin, though, again, Ultra Instinct is the closest thing I could compare his fighting style to. So he has peace of mind when he fights. And I think Jerry Joel does a good job at these type of characters. So, Odin, I like his abilities, and I think his fight is kind of cool. But we'll get into that in the spoiler section, why his backstory, in my opinion, is kind of dumb. After him, though, we have the next member of the 8 Deadly Fists, Siegfried. And I just have one thing to say about Siegfried. La 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 la. You might be wondering, the fuck did I just break into sporadic song? Yes, that is literally Siegfried's character. He talks about making melodies out of fights and breaks into doing that. All of his dialogue is basically la to different songs of public domain, like Night on Bowed Mountain, Dies Irae's Requiem by Mozart, which is the greatest classical piece of music created. Fight me. And yeah, Siegfried is probably one of my favorite characters in this show. He is a joy to watch every time he's on screen. And his fighting style, they call him the zombie, because when he gets knocked over, he immediately just gets back up. Like, it's next to impossible to knock him out, basically. And he's fucking great. I love Siegfried. And he's voiced by Chris Kasem, who you'd all probably know as Spike from Baccano, or Shu from DBZ, or Dragon Ball, whatever you want to call it. It's also Gluttony and FMA. But yeah, Chris Kasem, this is easily your best role, man. I'm sorry, he never topped this role for me. I'll let Die mark out about Siegfried when he gets back. But yeah, Siegfried, fucking great. You deserve a medal for this, Chris Kasem. Like, he's another one that's a shoo-in, I think, for MVP of this dub. Seriously, his performance is legendary. After him, we have the last member of the, oh, I think Die's about to be back. Oh, you're back. I was marking out over Siegfried the last couple of minutes. Your turn. Mark out over Siegfried.
Public domain music?
Exactly. I even had to cover Dies Irae's Requiem by Mozart while you were gone. Yeah. But I just did this say, like, Chris Kasem, but this is his best role, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Good voice actor, but this is my favorite role by him of all time. But the last 8 Deadly Fist member, we have Hermit, who's, because he's an edgelord, means he's automatically one of my favorite characters, because obviously...
Oh, you've seen how edgy he looks. He's in a death metal band, you know.
So, Hermit, he's basically the antithesis of Kenichi. He's Kenichi's main rival of the show. And he uses a lot of Chinese martial arts, because you find out his mentor was Kensei's brother. So because of that, him and Kenichi have very similar fighting styles, at least in some regard. And honestly, his fight with Kenichi is one of my favorite too in the show. So, as the reason we were saying this is dumb with Hermit and why we saved him for last, he has 2 voice actors. It's really fucking stupid. So his first voice actor in Season 1, up through Episode 26, is Jason Lebrecht, or Ernesto Jason Lebrecht, damn it. Stop changing your names, guys! Why are you doing this to me? You all know him as Zeke from Attack on Titan, or Yato from Noragami. I'm sorry, Dai. I don't think Bones are interested in making any more of that.
Or
what?
Or Champa.
Yeah, or Champa. The fat cat.
Or Tapion.
And in Season 2, it's Eric Vale. You all know him. Diablo from How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Watch that. Get cultured. Fan service for life. Or Trunks from DBZ.
That's a boring choice.
Okay, so it's the one you'd go with then.
Yeah. He is the Dave and Buster's guy. Come on. Have you not seen those
Kimberly from
commercials?
FMA. The bomber alchemist dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There's another role by him where he's playing Crazy Man.
Or you'll hear him anytime you get a Dave and Buster's commercial.
Yeah, and honestly,
if those are even still a thing.
This is one where I'm mixed on, because Hermit, I almost called him Kermit. Hermit has 2 different personalities, kind of, where he's pretending to be a nice guy and be all soft-spoken and, you know, trying to get on everyone's good side and, like, woo all the fangirls over to him and become friends with everybody. And then when he's fighting, though, he becomes super edgelord and is over-the-top angsty, etc. And I actually prefer Eric Vale when he's doing the whole angsty blah blah blah, but I prefer Jason when he's more soft-spoken. I know, obviously, though, they couldn't do 2 different buzz. That'd be fucking stupid.
Yeah, he got replaced because that was around the time we, like, fucked off for 4 years.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. Probably could have looked into it more, maybe found something.
You want me to make it stupid? He is the real Loki. I mean, from Fairy Tail.
Oh, yeah, there you go. He's Loki in Fairy Tail. Because this isn't getting confusing enough when we already mentioned Travis was Thor in Avengers.
There, you confused him even more.
But yeah, so, I don't know. It depends on your preference, I guess, of which hermit you like more. There's even a scene in Season 2 where they flash back to some of Jason's lines from S1, but they redubbed it as Eric Vale. Like I said,
it would have been hilarious if they were lazy.
It would have been. I would have died laughing at that, looking at you, Bleach, with Udahara. But yeah. Like I said, I like some of Jason's takes better and I like some of Eric's better, so I think both are fine. It just depends on which one you like more.
It's still pretty stupid.
Oh, it is.
It happened, but it happened.
The last ones to mention on the main cast list are Kenichi's family. So first we have his sister, Honika, voiced by Shermie Lee, who you'd all know as Lucy from Fairy Tail. Or, Made from BNA. I don't know that show. I haven't seen it yet.
Or Red Blood Cell.
From which cells at work, though? Isn't there like 3 of them now?
The normal one.
Oh.
Not black. Black gender swaps them. I'm pretty sure they was...
You know, when you said black gender swap them, you know what people are gonna think?
No! You know what I mean. I said black gender swaps them. Do you listen to things out of context?
Well, it is funny to do it that way. Anyway, yeah, Shermie Lee does a great job playing the, I guess, typical cutesy lolly of the show. She makes a comment saying, "Hey, I'm not a midget, I'm just fun-sized." Which, oh my god, I remember we both had a friend that would not stop quoting that fucking line for some reason.
Why?
I have no idea. He tried making that like a memeable thing. So, like, yeah, the line's pretty funny, man, but come on, I don't think it's meme-worthy. Then again, I don't know memes very well, so maybe it is. You decide. Now, as far as his parents go, we have his mom, voiced by Cynthia Cranston, aka the reason you don't watch DBZ. Hi, Chi-Chi. And the mom in Shin-Chan. The mom in a bunch of other shit, too. Because she was typecasted as moms. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And
the dad is voiced by John Swayze, who names his guns. You all know John Swayze, it's Crocodile from One Piece. Which both of these two are barely here, so I can see why they're not on the main cast list. Just figured including them, because someone would say, well, what about the rest of his family?
Yeah, but Sebastian has his own theme song.
He does. Sebastian is the name of his shotgun. He also has another gun named Maximilian.
They each have their own theme song. And
he also, when he picks up one of them, says, "Say hello to my little friend," because for some reason that's becoming a common thing with these damn dubs. Why? What?
Yes.
As far as other, I guess, minor characters, there's Izumi, another girl in Kenichi's class who has a crush on him, voiced by Brina Palencia. You know, the best voice of Rei from Evangelion. I guess we did get to that. And she's also Juvia in Fairy Tail, and everyone waifus Juvia.
Everyone?
Everyone. They should also waifu Yunogasai.
You have some weird logic.
As far as the ad voice recycling, yeah, it's pretty bad if you can recognize these voices. I don't think it's as bad as LA's worst, though. I'm sorry, Platinum and still leagues fucking worse than this.
It's about on par as LA's usual.
Yeah,
this is before they hired 100 Fuzz to make it where that was less of a thing, because they only use them as ad voices now for the most part.
They'll hire 1,300 Fuzz and never use any of them except the same 3. That's the motto. But yeah, you get Micah's ad voices here and there. You get someone under the ad voices section named Michael Kenichi. I am so happy they didn't think, hey, let's make this guy voice Kenichi. To be that on the nose, you know they were thinking about doing it. Don't you dare say they weren't.
They've done dumber things.
Chris George was really fucking bad in this dub. Like, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was probably one of the worst ones.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
We already mentioned Caitlin Glass. There was a few Anthony Bolins. Dave Trosco was here, which makes me think, holy shit, you all had him working there this far back, and yet it took you to like 2015 to start using him, where you all were pricks. But preaching to the choir on that one. I mean, we got both Greg and Chris Harris. Hearing Chris Harris, that made me sad. I think they even interact in a scene together, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And Greg Harris's character is Jobber 101 of Ragnarok. He's Koga the Kicker, whose whole purpose is to get bullied.
He's also irrelevant. It's in his name, especially with who he works under.
He works under Kisara, who we already mentioned is inspired by Chun-Li, because she primarily only fights with kicks. So, yeah, Koga's a worthless character. But I think they know that.
Is irrelevant.
Yeah, he was basically written into the background and only showed up just to have someone make him job.
He has had zero success from the very moment he showed up. He got knocked out almost from just the pressure of Kenichi's punch that missed him.
Yeah.
He's a bitch.
He really is. I mean, hey, you get Kyle Aber playing the head of the Karate Club as one of the first, I guess, antags.
Yeah.
So, it's like, man, they could have had him with some more major characters. This was before SF4, though, so to be fair, they didn't really know he was going to be Ryu.
The answer lies in the heart of battle.
Speaking of which, did you say Sakaki looked like Kenshiro from North Star?
Yes.
Yeah. So, too bad they didn't get Lex Lang in. That would have been cool.
They probably would have if it was out of LA.
But yeah. As far as silly dubisms, we've got quite a few. First, in the first set of Kenichi, first 12 episodes or so, Ukita is referred to as Yukita with a Y. That's dropped. Clearly somebody fucked up, or the ADR director took over afterwards. It's like, yeah, no, we're gonna change how we pronounce that.
Classic heel maze.
Damn it, Arslan. Anyway. But hey, we get Najima doing the whole Spock thing.
He is an alien.
Yeah, it's like, whatever you say, Dr. Spock, it's Professor. And then he does the Spock thing with his hands, which is ironic since, you know, Todd is Spock in Star Trek Continues.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
No, that's just stupid.
It's amazing, man, and you know it. But yeah. You also get Travis slipping from his Zetsu voice into his normal voice when Loki's getting beaten up.
It's only for 2 lines, but it's noticeable.
It's very noticeable. It's like, wait, what the fuck happened to your voice?
Is that voice just a facade?
And then he goes right back into the Setsu voice. No, I think, again, multiple ADR directors, and they just fucked up and didn't catch it. But hey, if you want something really ironic, you get Kensei saying the line to Sakaki in a nice, you know, friendly way. You're one of the worst liars I've ever met. Yes, Vic says this to Chris Sabat. Of course I was going to point that out because I'm a dick.
You have one of those?
I am one of those. That about covers it for the dub. Again, the ad voice is in the background. You could tell it's their earlier works. But like we said before, I still think this dub is solid. It's not going to win any Best Dub of the Year awards or anything like that, but you could tell everyone is enjoying it and just going along with how over-the-top insane this series is at times.
And you can tell Josh probably threw out his throat
with how much he has to scream.
Yes.
Yep.
Especially with how it's one of his earlier. I mean, it's the role that would set the precedent for all his future roles.
Get quintuplets away from me, please.
Well, why'd you get near it in the first place? That's your problem.
I don't know. I thought it would be fun.
Are you an idiot?
I don't know. As far as MVP of the dub, though, I'm split on either Todd as Nijima or Chris Kasem as Siegfried. So, I think both of them did really fucking great. And everyone who voiced one of the Masters did an excellent job, too. I mean, that's one of the things this show did, is most of the Masters were voice actors who had been there for a while at the time, and their disciple, i.e. Josh, had barely been voicing at that point. So you could say it was like, oh, the older voice actors bringing up the new gen, I guess. But yeah, not much else to say about the show. If you want to go watch it, go for it. And if you're wondering, was there any more Kenichi made? Yes! Yes, there was! In fact, there was a third pseudo-season of 11 OVAs that came out in 2012. By Studio Base, the studio behind To Your Eternity, so you know the animation would probably be godly. Is it dubbed? It's Funimation. The fuck do you think? There is no reason for this not to be dubbed, I'm gonna be real. Unless you could think of one.
Well, you see... If you go into the corner and huff some paint, you'll kill some brain cells, and that is Funimation.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds about right. Most of these OVAs are just, each one's a one-off backstory on the mentors, giving you what their past was like, since the anime briefly touches upon it but doesn't go into great detail. And then some of the OVAs do continue the story a little farther. So it would have been nice to get it, though, in dub. I don't even think it's ever been released here officially, so you know what to do if you want to watch them. One Piece!
Pisces.
Exactly. You figured it out, Dai. Sir Pisces.
Dumpster dive, I got you.
See? Now you understand. There is nothing more I have to teach you. As far as negatives, we've got a few, we'll say, for the spoiler section, but I still think the positives far outweigh any stupidity. I do agree with people. This is a decent show and you could check out and have fun with. Some of the fights are really cool to watch. Especially if you're in the mood for some Street Fighter shit, which who isn't after SF6 being announced? Right?
They have a lot to prove before you get hyped for SF6.
I'm cautiously optimistic, but yeah, I don't expect much, to be fair.
Especially after, well, what you're sitting on right now.
More hyped for the Capcom Fighting Collection, as a side note. But yeah, Kenichi's a pretty solid anime. So, go check it out. Now we're getting into spoilers. So, here we go. Okay.
God, Odin's backstory is so stupid.
Odin's backstory makes no fucking sense, and Kenichi's backstory being paired up with it is also really dumb and adds nothing. They did the whole cliche shit where, hey, Kenichi forgot he knew the head of Ragnarok and Miyu back when he was 6, because it's been 10 years since then. And apparently when him and Odin saw Miyu when they were very young at 6, Miyu at 6 years old beat the shit out of 3 huge dudes. Look, I know this show's over the top at times, but I think there's jumping the shark, and then there's whatever the fuck this was. This was stupid.
Yeah, we're talking about the show where 4 sharks got punched out and murdered by an old man running on the water. And anyways...
Yeah, see, that's fun, though. That's the fun kind of stupid. This was just stupid in the... What?
It's not... His backstory's not even... It's not even that good as a placeholder thing, just to have something.
Yeah, so
dumb.
Odin's whole thing is Kenichi had this badge throughout the series, a yin yang badge, that Odin apparently gave him. No, Odin gave him a cat badge that he won out of a machine. That Miyu won the fucking yin yang badge, and then Kenichi and Miyu traded badges.
And then they traded it, and then they had a scuffle.
Yeah, and then Odin and Kenichi were like, no, I want to fight you for the badge, the yin yang badge, because it's way cooler than that stupid cat badge you gave away. And Kenichi won, thus causing Odin to have PTSD, swearing he would never lose again and he would study the martial arts. And one day challenge Kenichi and defeat him for the badge years down the line for the principle of the thing. This is so fucking stupid.
And this is supposed to be the main antag of the arc, guys.
Again, I mentioned earlier when you were gone, I was like,
of the week.
Yeah, I was like, I mentioned when you were gone, I was like, I like Odin's abilities. I think, you know, the whole Ultra Instinct thing that he does is kind of cool, where he's calm, blah, blah, blah. And even his fight, I didn't mind that much. You know, where Kenichi had to imitate his masters to throw him off. I thought that was really cool. But it's like, it's almost ruined. Like, there's an asterisk next to the fight because of the fucking backstory behind it. It's so dumb. And again, guys, I'm going to ask you this. How many of you retain a shit ton of memories from back when you were 6 or younger?
Like, you'll retain a handful.
Yeah, but Odin's like, I remember everything clear as day, Kenichi. Bullshit. And again, he's mad that he lost to Kenichi when they were 6. It's like, what? A scuffle on the playground has traumatized me for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
This is dumb.
And it's like this compared to other when we got other people's backstories at this point, and they're
fine. Yeah, like Hermit's backstory actually, like where his sister died, and like yeah, and it motivated him because that's what turned him into a dick. His whole family basically died. And then he got picked up by the Sage Fist before he was taken in by Kensei's brother. So that makes sense. Takeda's story where...
Makes sense.
Yeah, he went to go help his friend and it ruined his boxing career because he did the right thing. So that's why he fell in with Ragnarok, thinking like, oh, there's no need for friends, till Kenichi set him straight. Again, that works. But then you have this, it's like, this is fucking stupid. Even Kasara's backstory makes sense, where her and Freya split up, because Kasara's like, I need to find my own path. I want to get stronger my own way.
Or her one before that, why she ended up in Ragnarok anyways.
Yeah. Speaking of Ragnarok, I am so fucking confused on what this gang is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So
clearly they all have their own factions they control. Loki has his own little gang of whatever.
Yeah.
And yet they're more nicer people than
Freya's.
The other one. Than Freya's, who are attempted cat murderers.
Yeah, so the Valkyrie, which is what they're called, basically they're trained under Freya. They use weapons and stuff too. Yeah. They were trying to see if Kasar was going to betray them, which they were right to suspect her or whatever. But they see Kasar with a cat, so their first idea is to kill the kitten. It'll get under Kasara's skin, punish her that way. It's like, what the fuck? And then it's a complete disconnect when you run into Freya, who, when Freya's weapons break, she's like, I'm a martial artist. I'm not a murderer. We're done fighting here. I don't want to risk killing you with my weapons.
What the why?
So cats are okay, but people are too far, I suppose. Yeah. Now, the argument could be made, maybe she didn't know her subordinates were that fucking psychotic. Because we do see that a bit with some of the other members in the group. but
You
still.
mean the people she has under her thumb every day, clearly, with the way they're talking about it? No, it just makes no sense.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't know, it still needed to be explained better. Especially when they even make comments like, oh, don't worry, Ragnarok, they don't kill people. They'll severely injure you, though, if you cross them. But then you constantly hear them like, kill the person, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what? I don't understand. What are you?
Hearing that from Loki, that makes sense.
Also, keep in mind, Freya said she's a martial artist, not a killer. Yet she took part in the, when Thor left the group, the punishment game, where they all beat the shit out of the person who leaves, and she yelled at Kasara for not beating the shit out of Thor, too. It's like, okay, so a guy who can't fight back is okay to beat the shit out of and potentially cause traumatic injury, but you're not going to risk killing someone. Sure. That makes sense. There's a lot about Ragnarok that doesn't make sense. I mean, you do see Odin constantly get pissed off at Loki for Loki being himself, so there's at least that. And it does show Loki does not get along with the rest of the members, which makes you think, why do they even keep him around?
Wow. Why did Thor and Siegfried stick around?
I mean, they all quit. And even Hermit said he was only using them to train under Odin and get stronger, basically, that way. Because he wanted to spar with stronger people.
Which means there's an alternate timeline where the finale would have been Hermit versus Odin, and Kenichi versus Berserker.
Yeah, or Hermit as Jason versus Berserker. That voice change is still weird.
Well, you have to change someone's voice when they fuck off for like 4 years.
But yeah. Now, to be fair, Odin does explain that Loki is only kept around because the Sage Fist demands it, but we never find out why. Maybe it's explained farther in the manga, I don't know, but I can't tell you one thing, I heard a tournament arc was coming up from when this anime ended, and I'm pissed, because I love me some tournament arcs, damn it. What? I'm a simple dude, I love tournaments. Tournaments are great, especially in shonens like this. And yeah, the last set, like I'd say the last 8 to 10 episodes, you could tell they were rushing just to get to the conclusion. Because it's like, oh shit, we gotta wrap up this Ragnarok plotline. Well, maybe you don't have so many one-off fillers earlier on, which, yes, they did. You know what, I like the teacher dude coming to check up on Miyu at the dojo. That was a filler episode, if you couldn't tell.
But that was hilarious.
Oh, it was. It was. I agree with you. Those fillers were pretty fucking great. I thought they were funny as hell. And they still fit in with the line of teaching Kenichi lessons.
I mean, they also fit better than the inconsistent writing with Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But I guess only people who are gonna join Kenichi's gang get good writing.
The Shenpaku Alliance. I love how when Kenichi asked Nijima, he's like, who are all these people that just showed up out of nowhere? They're your homies! So literally Nijima's response.
Yeah, that was definitely dubbed in the mid-2000s.
It's fucking great, man. Come on.
Why?
I love it. I love it. It's great.
Still a weirder character than Battle Chaos.
It trembles. If I ever met Todd, I'd ask him to do Kenichi's laugh. I said that while we were watching it.
To do Kenichi's laugh?
Yeah, Nijima's laugh. Sorry. Yes, to do Kenichi's laugh. Imitate Josh. I mean, to be fair, you get Josh imitating all of his masters during the Odin fight, so that's cool. You get to hear him try imitating Appa-Chai and everything else.
He even imitated that fucking weird kind of accent that
Sakaki has.
Like Sakaki has. I don't even know what accent that is.
I guess the last thing to point out is the last 10 episodes or so introducing Ki into the mix and trying to do the special moves thing.
And it does it really clumsily, because it's just like everything else was slowly introduced. And
Yeah,
it was just
again,
like
I'm
him
not...
using the move he learned that week to overcome the next battle, blah blah blah. But now it's just, I guess we know Ki now.
I'm not opposed
Okay.
to them using Ki for super moves, because again, it's inspired by Street Fighter.
Yeah.
You knew it was going to go there eventually, and they had to keep one-ing up the antags, and they got to the point where it's...
One-ing up.
Yes. I know what I said. As I was saying, like, there was even a fight between Kenichi and Hermit on top of a moving bus. And, what is it? Doesn't Hermit, like, bend the metal or whatever? On the bus, whatever.
It's so hard.
Yeah. Like, so it was already a bit over the top. You even have scenes where Kensei kicks out an entire bridge with a single kick and has a bunch of people fall off of it. And other over-the-top shit. We already mentioned the shark beating or whatever, so... Yeah, them introducing Ki is fine, but it could have been handled a lot better than it was.
Could have been handled a lot better, just like those other members of Ragnarok. Minus Loki just existing for some reason.
They could have... Yeah, maybe they could have had a scene where, just to fix it, where Freya's yelling at the Valkyrie, like, what the hell? I heard the psychotic shit you idiots were doing. Any more stunts like that and you're out, etc. Just anything. There, you fixed it in like a 30-second scene. But yeah. Again, despite the flaws, still had a lot of fun with the show. It's typical, just turn your brain off and have fun with something if you're in the mood for a battle shonen that's inspired by Street Fighter and martial arts.
It's just those last few episodes will probably really frustrate you.
Honestly, though, they do have one of my favorite fights in those, though, which is Hermit versus Berserker. I think that fight's really fucking good, but it's in the middle of those apps.
Yeah.
So... I do wonder, though... Siegfried, yeah, you get Siegfried in the last 8 episodes, too. So there's at least that. So it's like, yeah, the last 8 episodes are frustrating as hell, but... They're still good in there. It's not complete dumpster fire. It's one of those things, like, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed that it turned into this.
Because only one of Kenichi's future friends gets good writing, as I've already
yeah,
I guess.
Even Berserker at the end, you can tell, is it going to have a face turn, which I did hear from one of my friends who read the manga that, yeah, Berserker does have a face turn, obviously.
Oh, you mean the character that they spend like they spend time fleshing out there and actually didn't make it stupid, Hyoden.
Oh, we didn't even mention Odin apparently having the fucking Satsui no Hado.
But yeah, and if you know that, you too can heal a rusty cut on your arm from a huge nail.
Yeah, and apparently give in to the dark energy inside you or something. They explain, like, oh, it's positive Ki and negative Ki, the Ki inside you and the Ki outside you, but he went ape shit and maxed out his body to the limit with them, and it's causing him to go angry and ape shit. It's like, yeah, I see what he's going for, but again...
Clumsily introduced.
Maybe they could have had a lesson introduced where Kenichi was training with Hayato, like, look, you need to be careful with the Ki, because there is a dark side of it or something.
That's what the forest training was going for. I see it there, kind of. You know, what type of fighter
with a sage
he wants
fist.
to be.
Yeah, because Odin's also his antithesis. And as we mentioned, Kenichi, knowing them back when he was 6...
And at the end, their Hermit's just soon now.
Yeah, Hermit's soon. Like I said, Hermit's one of my favorite characters. I love Hermit. Obviously, it's not Siegfried. Oh yeah, Kenichi's sister now always goes to him now. She even makes fun of him, calling him Edgelord or Edgy. But yeah, the whole thing with Kenichi knowing them since he was 6 is bullshit. It honestly is like, what? It kind of cheapens him and Miyu first meeting in episode 1, because it's like, why? This isn't needed.
It adds nothing.
Anyway, that's about it. I guess let us know what you all thought of Kenichi. Had issues, but still think it's a solid watch. And the dub is fun.
Bitching about it if this wasn't literally if this isn't literally fuck with how the climax of the show ends.
Yeah, and maybe someone who's read the manga can tell us, did they leave out shit? Because I want to be surprised. Maybe they did explain the, you know, Dark Hado or the key shit better in there.
I mean, they probably did, because it seems like they started to attempt it with what type of fighter does Kenichi want to be?
Yeah, and you see Sakaki use the key to knock out a dude who was accosting him, what, at a bar or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, holy shit, Sakaki just knocked out that dude by looking at him. He's like, yeah, I used my key. And I'm not talking about the key I left in the cushions. Wait a minute.
Fucking my car keys.
Yeah. Oh no, anything else to add before we get out of here, Dai?
Yes, the real main character is the mouse.
The mouse. The mascot. The friend. Who I think is voiced by Chris Kasem, but don't quote me on that. I gotta look it up again, but...
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's also Shu.
Yeah, but he's Siegfried, and that's his most important role ever. Fucking Siegfried. If nothing else, guys, just look up dub clips of Siegfried on YouTube. Come on.
If you ever want to hear him singing along the public domain music, that is your chance.
He hams it up so much. I'm sorry, guys. Like, gosh, shit about Siegfried, but you have no idea unless you've seen it. For those who've seen it, no.
It's asshole for the character because he is a musician.
But yeah, that's it. That's our first stop on Mignogna March, covering a shonen that most people probably forgot about. Weren't you happy, Dai?
Yes.
Does make me wonder, though, will Discotheque release the OVAs and actually dub them? Probably not. Even though they could get mostly everyone back. Hell, they could even get Vic back if they weren't pussies. I mean, anyway. So, yeah. Hope you all enjoyed, and tell us why Kensei is Euros, see, everyone? Tell us. And why Miyu is best girl and not Kisara Dai.
That just sounds silly.
Nah. But alright, guys. That's it. And as Akisame would say, you ready to carpe diem, Dai? You ready to carpe some diem?
Yeah.
That is literally how he words it. So until next time, guys, we'll be back with something else. So our first stop. And hey, if you watch Kenichi and like it, then I would suggest watching something like Fatal Fury or Street Fighter animes. Those are actually really solid and are over-the-top stupid like this. So it's appropriate.
You'll get more of those when you will the SF5 story mode.
You're not wrong about that. Anyways, we'll be back. Till next time, guys.